Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome to Night 2 of the Best of the Super Juniors tournament here on the Global Force Wrestling roster. So let's have a quick look at the card we have set for you tonight. We're going to start off with the World Classic Tag Team Jado and Gedo as they take on the American Wolves, Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards. We have our first round match here this evening as Trent takes on Rocky Romero. Another first round match as Kalisto takes on Solomon Crowe, also known as Sami Callihan. We're also going to see Cedric Alexander versus Zack Sabre Jr. in the first round of the Super Juniors Tournament 2. Justin Gabriel versus Johnny Gargano. And Bobby Fish versus Nick Jackson. Both tournament matches as well. And then in our main event this evening, we'll see a Fatal 4-Way Extreme Rules Elimination match as AJ Styles, Kota Ibushi, Hiroshi Tanahashi and Finn Balor collide. So without further ado, let's get straight into our first match. And here we go with our first match here this evening. Jado and Gedo taking on the American Wolves. Of course, we did see Eddie Edwards in a first round match yesterday. Unfortunately, he lost to Jushin Thunder Liger. He is booked for the entire week, so we may see him some more as this 7-day pay-per-view continues. Start with Eddie Edwards and Jado in the ring. And remember, we do have 5 first round matches tonight of the Best of the Super Junior tournament. I must admit, I don't think there's anybody in this entire competition who you would consider a weak link. Every single person has the opportunity to win this competition. We do have our last 5 first round matches tomorrow, so be sure to check them out. And then after then, we'll be going straight into the second round. Eddie Edwards now in the ring with Davey Richards. Davey Richards gets caught with that Russian leg sweep by Jado. Jado brings him back to his feet. Davey Richards just tossed him over the top rope. Jado fights back. There's a quick roll up by Davey Richards. Referee was very, very slow. Counts for the 1, but Gedo was across quickly enough to break it. Big German suplex there by Davey Richards. Up to the top rope, and there's a diving headbutt, but I think Jado avoided it. Eddie Edwards catches a hold of Jado, allowing Davey Richards enough time to get back to his feet and take advantage of that chop across the chest. But Jado straight back up with that running DDT. Brings in his partner Gedo, and I think Davey Richards is also going to bring in Eddie Edwards. Davey Richards will be in a first round match tomorrow. I believe he's actually facing Austin Aries, so big ask for Davey Richards. Austin Aries, the current Ring of Honor television champion. Great chop across the chest there by Gedo, followed up by the elbows at the back of the neck. And just slamming the head as well into the mat. We do have quite a few big names actually for tomorrow in the first round. We're going to have we've got Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, Jay Lethal and Jack Evans, Pentagon Jr. and Caprice Coleman. As I said, Davey Richards and Austin Aries, and Drake Younger and Low Key as well. Eddie Edwards had Gedo locked in the submission, but Jado was in quickly enough to break it. Edwards throws Gedo into the corner, and Davey Richards catches him with that kick, but Gedo fighting back with a boot to the stomach of Eddie Edwards. And there's a neck breaker. Pin now by Gedo, 1. Only for the 1 count. Remember, Jado and Gedo only debuted a couple of weeks back in the Ring of Honor versus Global Force Weekender. Eddie Edwards has the has that Dragon Sleeper locked in. Gedo manages to fight his way out, throwing Eddie Edwards into the corner. Eddie fighting his way out, but he gets caught with that drop toe hold. It's a trip there by Gedo. Hits the elbow drop, and now Gedo making the hot tag. Is it going to be successful? No. Come on, 2K, please sort out the hot tag system. It's absolutely dire. Really is. The pin now here by Eddie Edwards. The 2 count. Gedo across quickly. Also, please, 2K, sort out the defending tag teams. Davey Richards' calm little slow walk across the ring there is just not enough. Davey Richards now breaking the pin himself. Jado has Eddie Edwards up into a vertical suplex, rolls straight into the pin, but Eddie's feet are under the ropes. Referee calls it a rope break. Eddie with a hip toss there on Jado. Springboard splash by Eddie Edwards as well. Straight into the pin. 1, 2, 3, and that's all. The American Wolves, Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards, pick up the victory here against Jado and Gedo, the World Classic Tag Team. There was that kick to the side of the head by Eddie Edwards early on. Great teamwork there as Eddie threw Gedo into the corner and Davey Richards catches him with a kick. And this was the pin. Only for a 2 count there. It was a springboard splash and Gedo just too slowly across to break it up. And the American Wolves victorious here. Jado and Gedo will be unhappy being defeated on their own turf. They're really trying to get higher up on these tag team rankings, looking for a championship match. However, losing to the American Wolves is not going to help them in that situation at all. And here we go with our first round match of the evening as Rocky Romero takes on Trent. Of course, these two actually now tagged together, I believe, in New Japan. Rocky Romero's longtime partner in the Forever Hooligans, Alex Kozlov, retired about a year ago now. And Trent stepped up and became Rocky Romero's new tag partner. However, this is the way the cookie crumbles. This is the way the draw happened. And we do have Rocky Romero versus Trent. Winner of this match will face off against the winner of the next match, Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish and Nick Jackson, which is actually scheduled for later on tonight, not next. Rocky Romero joins Trent on the top. Going to go for a superplex here. Very early on, hits a huge impactful move in the superplex. But Trent fighting his way back up to his feet. Rocky Romero catches him with that hip toss and now just slamming his arm into the mat. Bringing him back to his feet again. Big uppercut by Rocky Romero, followed up, went for the dropkick to the back, but Trent avoids it. Trent gets around the back of Rocky Romero reversing, get around the back himself. Kick to the back of the calf, and these two guys just trading blows. As I said, tagged together now, and they obviously know each other's movesets so well. Huge kick to the side of the head by Rocky Romero. That could have knocked some sense right out of Trent. So Romero's got Trent, looked like he was going to go for a butterfly powerbomb. Trent reverses with that Samoan drop, but then followed up with a double foot stomp. Romero gets slammed on his face in the mat, and then Trent comes running across with that flipping lariat, followed up by another double foot stomp, and Trent is really going for it here. We saw him pick up a couple of good victories in the Ring of Honor vs Global Force Weekender that's really put him in the highlight here in Global Force for the Junior Heavyweight Championship. Trent tripping Romero. Sorry, Romero's back to his feet with a dropkick on Trent. Bringing Trent back to his feet again. And there's Romero with an exploder suplex across the ring on Trent. Romero pulls him into the centre of the ring. Could this be all here? Goes to the pin. 1, 2. Only a 1 count. Not even a 2 by Romero on Trent. Trent now locked in the submission, just pushing his knee into the centre of the back of Romero. and wrench him back on that chin, but Romero fights out. Trent went for that chop. Romero reverses. Tilt-a-whirl neckbreaker. Going for the pin again. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Trent brought back to his feet, sorry. Reverses with a knee to the stomach of Rocky Romero, now followed up with these kicks to the chest. And we've seen this before, the big one to the side of the head. Followed up by an elbow drop to the center of the back. And Romero's really on the back foot here. Great pop-up head scissors there. Romero reversing though, throwing Trent into the corner. Romero with that uppercut from the middle rope. Pulls Trent in the center of the ring. He's going to go for a pin here again. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Trent catches Rocky Romero. He's going to go for the crunchy and he hits it. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Rocky Romero kicks out of the crunchy. What is Trent going to have to do here to keep Romero down? 1. Only a 1 count now. Romero getting some life back into him. Throws Trent into the corner. Trent fights his way out. And catches him there with that snapmare. Romero tripping Trent. Trent back to his feet now. He's caught Romero. Gets him up. And drops him in the Falcon Arrow. Followed up by the double foot stomp. But again, Romero just fighting his way back to his feet. There's no keeping this guy down. Oh, big discus forearm by Romero. And now just working on the arm of Trent. Remember, Romero does like to use the arm breaker submission. Referee out a screen, but I'm assuming that was a 2 count. Romero's going to go for that exploder suplex again, but just throwing Trent too close to the ropes. Takes him a few seconds to pull him away. Going for the pin now. 1, 2, 3. And that's all. Rocky Romero qualifies for round 2 of the Best of the Super Juniors tournament by defeating Trent here. What a fantastic match this was. A few false finishes. Both guys gave it their all. Great discus forearm there by Rocky Romero. Went for the pin. We didn't see what it was, but I'm assuming it was a 2 count. And this is the exploder suplex that finished it all off. Romero had to take a couple of extra seconds pulling Trent away from the ropes. But it was definitely enough. Great victory here for Rocky Romero. He will go on to face the winner of Bobby Fish and Nick Jackson, which we will see this evening. Not often we've seen Rocky Romero, if at all, in this universe mode, in a singles match. Normally we see him teaming up with Alex Kozlov. He really has an opportunity here to show what he can do on the singles stage. And he's made the most of his opportunities so far. Let's see how far he can take it. And here we go, match number 3 this evening. And our second first round match in the Super Juniors tournament. We have Kalisto, one of Global Force's own, taking on Solomon Crowe of CZW. Of course, if you know your indie wrestling, you will know that Kalisto was originally known as Samurai Del Sol in the indie scene. Wrestled in several companies. I saw him mainly for CZW and PWG. We also have Solomon Crowe, who again in CZW and PWG was known as Sami Callihan. It's a shame with PWG, they seem to get a hold of guys when they're big. The only problem is that as soon as PWG seem to get a hold of them, they end up going to WWE. One of the most recent being Uhaa Nation. PWG gave Uhaa Nation his debut, and within a month or so he'd been signed for WWE. I think there actually was a PWG event a couple of days ago. I think it was Tremendous. And believe it or not, at Tremendous PWG, William Regal was in the crowd and Seth Rollins was backstage as well. Obviously Seth used to be a ex-indie wrestler, mainly for Ring of Honor, but he did work quite a bit with PWG, so he does know a lot of the guys there. However, I think I've said in some of my videos before, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla is definitely my favourite company there. The shows are just absolutely fantastic. I don't think I've ever watched any of their shows, especially the last sort of 3 or 4 years. I don't think I've watched any of their shows and not been anything but amazed by the quality. If you want to watch back, I think Sami Callihan and Drake Younger. Drake Younger also now works for NXT as well. You know that Drake Younger's actually been hired as one of the referees though in NXT at the moment. It's a shame because Drake Younger is a fantastic wrestler in his own really, but obviously he decided that a career in refereeing was the way forward for himself. He has a wife and at least one young child now, so it's great for him to get a solid job with solid pay rather than indie bookings up and down the country. He knows where he's going to be, he knows how much he's going to get paid, so it's really much more secure for his family, I suppose. But anyway, yeah, Drake Younger and Sami Callihan had a few fantastic matches in PWG. I think they culminating in, I think it might have been Battle of Los Angeles, I think it was actually, maybe. I could be wrong. Where they had a guerrilla warfare match and Drake's head got busted open pretty badly, pretty early on. Kalisto there with his sunset flip bomb. 1, 2. I need a 2 count. Sami Callihan reversed it into the pin. So I just realised I've not commentated at all on this match. Back elbow by Sami Callihan. A bit of news as well, just to go a bit random here again. A bit of news I've just read as I was making this match. I've just read that the WWE 2K15 pre-release version of the game is going to have Arnold Schwarzenegger as downloadable content. Now that seems okay, but I would much prefer it to be a wrestler like this. This year, it was Hogan and Sting, which was great. But Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's a bit like a few years back where I did actually pre-order it a few years back where you got Mike Tyson. I pre-ordered the game and I did not download Mike Tyson at all in the entire year and a half I had it. I just weren't bothered. Why would I have Mike Tyson in my universe mode? It just didn't seem much point to me. So yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Am I going to use him in my universe mode? No. Might be nice to still have. I'm going to pre-order the game either way, so I'm going to get him, but it's not really exciting me that much. As Kalisto locks Sami Callihan into that arm breaker. Sami there with a belly-to-belly slam. Kalisto, a great head scissors. Sami launched across the ring. The winner of this match will meet the winner of the next match, Cedric Alexander and Zack Sabre Jr. in the second round. Quick roll up here by Sami Callihan. 1. Only for the 1 count. Great step of Inseguri here by Kalisto. Going for the pin. 1. Only a 1 count. Again, just going back to 2K16, I've also heard they've announced Alexa Bliss is definitely on the game. For me, if Alexa Bliss is definitely on the game, then I think we're guaranteed. There's nothing against Alexa Bliss. I quite like Alexa Bliss actually, but if you know Alexa Bliss is on the game, then we know for definite that we're going to have Charlotte, we're going to have Sasha Banks, we're going to have Becky Lynch, we're going to have Bayley. Because yeah, Alexa Bliss is not at the peak of the NXT women's roster, so we know the people that are higher up are definitely going to be on the game. Double arm DDT by Sami Callihan. This could be all. Goes to the pin. 1, 2, 3, and Sami Callihan, aka Solomon Crowe, qualifies for round 2 of the Best of the Super Juniors tournament, defeating Kalisto here, the former Samurai del Sol, by pinfall with a double arm DDT. Great work here for Sami. I'm pretty pleased for him. Sami Callihan was the very first indie event I ever watched was a CZW event. So, and Sami Callihan was at just beginning his push in CZW. So I've got a soft spot for Sami Callihan. I do like him, and I'm very glad he's managed to pick up the victory here against Kalisto. As I just said earlier, he will face the winner of the next match, which is Cedric Alexander versus Zack Sabre Jr. in the second round. Great victory for Sami Callihan. One of the imports for CZW for this week-long event. And here we go, match number 4 this evening. Zack Sabre Jr. and Cedric Alexander. First round match in the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. Zack Sabre Jr. again, I know I've already said this a couple of times in this competition, but Zack is one of my favourites to win this. He has been at the upper level of Global Force Wrestling since he joined. Unsuccessful in a title match against Okada for the Global Force Wrestling Championship during the Ring of Honor versus Global Force weekender. However, it wasn't a successful weekend for Okada as well, as Okada lost the belt on the final night, the Best in the World pay-per-view, in that triple threat against AJ Styles and Michael Elgin. Again, going back from the previous match, I was talking about Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, and another guy that Pro Wrestling Guerrilla have just started using a lot more is this man, Zack Sabre Jr. He's absolutely outstanding. If you get a chance to see any of his matches, he's just one of the world's best technical wrestlers. Just to you guys that don't know, if you check out the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla YouTube page, you'll find some fantastic videos where they actually show you previews of all their DVDs. They cut the entire event down into like all the best bits. Cuts it down to about sort of 4 or 5 minutes video. It's definitely worth a watch, and I challenge anybody to watch any one of them videos and not be tempted to go and buy the DVD straight away. Cedric Alexander was one of the guys who was getting booked by Pro Wrestling Guerrilla quite a bit before Ring of Honor started enforcing the contracts, and obviously PWG lost a lot of guys that normally booked, the likes of Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, as well as Cedric Alexander as well was one of them. Caprice Coleman was one of the guys I was using. It's a fantastic submission there by Zack Sabre Jr. Breaks the hold. Remember, the winner of this match will take on Sami Callihan in round 2. Alexander with the elbow drop. One of the guys as well with PWG that I do like, who's been booked more recently, is Tommy End. Tommy End is a Dutch wrestler who I've been trying to find a call for on the PS3 community creations. I can't find him anywhere. If any of you guys out there are really good at making creative wrestlers, please see if you can make a Tommy End. He's an absolutely immense wrestler. I think he's got a kickboxing background, so some of the moves that he pulls out are just absolutely immense. Again, if you check out the PWG page and see the last 2 or 3 events, you'll see, I think it was Tommy End versus Chris Hero, and that was just a fantastic match. 2 of the most stiff wrestlers you can actually find in the planet at the moment. Zack Sabre Jr. now working down that arm. Cedric Alexander back up now with a couple of clotheslines and a big super kick to Zack Sabre Jr. Cedric pulls him into the centre of the ring. He probably could have pinned him where he was. Only a 1 count. You have to think if Cedric had pinned Zack Sabre Jr. straight away, but Cedric's got Jr. up and hits him in the brainbuster. Goes the pin, 1, 2. Zack Sabre Jr. kicks out. I think Zack Sabre Jr. has also been busted open here. And now Alexander locking Zack Sabre Jr. into the submission hold. Zack fights his way out, and I don't know how Zack's still going on here. He's bleeding quite heavily. Been hit with a brainbuster, and there's the step of Insuguri. Zack's up onto the top rope. Oh, and Cedric Alexander using a spin kick just to knock him off. Cedric follows him up there. He's going to go for a super butterfly suplex. And he does. That's a huge, impactful move. That's got to be all, surely. Goes for the pin. 1, 2. Oh, and Zack kicks out again. Oh, but then takes a massive super kick to the side of the head. Dragon suplex into the pin. 2. And again, Zack kicks out. And again, he takes a big kick to the side of the head, but he's straight back up to his feet. And now a chicken wing submission. And Zack Sabre Jr. finally has to tap out, showing his resilience. But where did Cedric Alexander get this from? Absolute world beater here tonight. Cedric Alexander really stepped up to the challenge. And he will face Sami Callihan in the second round of the Super Juniors tournament. There was the brainbuster. I think that might have been what actually busted Zack Sabre Jr. open. There's the super butterfly suplex as well. Dragon suplex. Only a 2 count. And then finally the chicken wing submission. And Zack Sabre Jr. had to tap out. So there goes one of my favourites out of this competition. Zack Sabre Jr. and it's Cedric Alexander that comes out victorious. And as I just said, he will go on to face Sami Callihan in round 2 of the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. Bit of a piss take sign there in the crowd. At a Global Force Wrestling event, there's a sign that says, "I love WWE." I bet he gets thrown out eventually. And here we go, match number 5 this evening. And another first round match in the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. We have for you Justin Gabriel, now going under the alias of PJ Black in the indie scene. He's taken on Johnny Gargano. Again, going back to the indie wrestling, Johnny Gargano is a very established indie wrestler. I think he's the longest reigning Dragon Force US champion, I believe. I've actually got a picture somewhere of myself with Johnny Gargano, and I've actually got the belt. It's amazing how heavy them championship belts actually are. If any of you ever had gone to these indie events in the UK, then they fly talent over. I held the Dragon Force Championship, and it was bloody heavy. No wonder these guys are so fit. They have to be just to carry the belts. Yeah, that was a fantastic event, actually. When I saw Gargano, it was I think they had just Gargano and Kevin Steen booked. Obviously now known as Kevin Owens. In a little tiny venue in Huntingdon. It was a great show. I was front row, as you do. Great drop toe hold there by Justin Gabriel. I'll probably say Johnny Gargano is just a snitch the favourite for this match. Justin Gabriel is a good wrestler, but I don't think he's much more than a high flyer. Johnny Gargano's got a bit more in his arsenal, a lot of submission moves, and some great innovative offense as well. The winner of this match will go on to face... let me look at my sheet here. Ooh. The winner of this match will go on to face the winner of Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole. That match will be shown on tomorrow's episode of the Best of the Super Juniors. So whoever wins this is going to end up with a very, very difficult second round. Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole are both fantastic wrestlers. Both I think are the top, two of the top guys in the indie scene at the moment. Used to be a tag team as well, I believe. I remember in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole came in together as Future Shock. That's Justin Gabriel just slamming the knee of Gargano into the mat. Yeah, someone else I forgot to mention as well that's on 2K16 is Eva Marie, which is quite amazing considering she's only just made her debut on NXT a couple of weeks back. Not the most talented female wrestler in the world by any stretch of the imagination, but as I've said, by having the likes of Alexa Bliss and Eva Marie on the game, we can easily assume that we're going to have Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Bayley, Becky Lynch as definite women on the roster, as well as all the obviously the main roster women as well, and probably a couple of legends. Because I think at the moment, with downloadable content, you get 8, maybe 9 women on this game. And I think they're aiming to probably double that, if not a bit more, on 2K16, which would be good. Because if you've seen my my current day roster, I am really struggling with the women's division. There's just not enough talent in there. Justin Gabriel hits a lovely sliced bread, then comes across for springboard frog splash on Johnny Gargano. Gargano's back to his feet though. Gabriel makes his way up to the top rope, but Gargano's there. Avoids the missile dropkick and now catches Justin Gabriel with a Gargano escape. Oh, but he escaped. That completely defeats the point in the name of the move, doesn't it, really? Big boot to the chest by Justin Gabriel. Now bringing Gargano to his feet. Gets him up in the gut wrench. And then drops him with that move. What is that move? It just seems to be so many people are using that in this universe mode. And I can't understand what it is. I don't know where it's come from, but to have one of the base wrestlers on the game, Justin Gabriel, using it as well. I've never seen anyone use it. I've watched a lot of wrestling. I've never seen anybody use that move before. But everyone seems to have it in this universe mode. It's like, I just don't know. Gargano very close to victory there with a springboard knee splash. Knee splash? Knee breaker. Knee drop. That's the word. Knee drop. Yeah, going back to that finishing maneuver from Justin Gabriel. It's a bit like if you've seen my retro roster. I have been moaning on several occasions about General Adnan and Colonel Mustafa. They seem to have sentons in their moveset. And I can't understand why. I don't think anybody in the 80s even did sentons, especially the likes of General Adnan and Colonel Mustafa. Adnan obviously is the Iron Sheik. So yeah, it just amazed me really. I think we've also got Andre the Giant confirmed for WWE 2K16 as well. Just thinking ahead for our retro roster next year. It's all going to depend on what the base roster on the game is to how I split my universe mode, and obviously how many core spots we're going to have. Because I will do next year's on the PlayStation 4 rather than the PS3. Obviously we know we're going to have the likes of Finn Balor, obviously Kevin Owens. I'm assuming we're going to have again the top end of NXT on the game, the Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, maybe even Samoa Joe. That would be a very interesting thing to see if we get Samoa Joe. That'd be great to see that. As Justin Gabriel taps out here to Johnny Gargano, and Gargano defeating the South African Justin Gabriel. I'm so glad Justin Gabriel's out because I'm just going to keep calling him Justin Bloody Credible the whole time. But yeah, Gargano will go on to face the winner of Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole in the second round of the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. And there it was when Justin Gabriel tapped out to that camel clutch style move where Gargano's knee was just pressed into the centre of the back of Justin Gabriel. Again, this competition's really a chance for a lot of these guys to start to build themselves up. I've not used a lot of them really. We've been sort of hooked up on the top end guys, your Tanahashis, your Okadas, Ibushi, AJ Styles, Finn Balor. So this is a fantastic opportunity for the guys in this competition to really prove themselves that they deserve to be higher up on the card here in Global Force Wrestling. And here we go, we got Bobby Fish versus Nick Jackson. As you can see, we have the surprise here of ACH at ringside. If you saw night 1 of the Super Juniors tournament, you will see Matt Jackson defeat ACH to go through to the second round. However, Nick Jackson's interference really helped Matt Jackson. So it looks like ACH is here to make sure that Matt Jackson can't pass on the favour to Nick. Bobby Fish is more than capable of defeating Nick Jackson alone. But of course, as we said, with the fellow Young Buck at ringside, you know he's going to get involved at some point. Neat to stop it there by Nick Jackson. And again, I know I've got about Pro Wrestling Guerrilla quite a lot in this episode. The Young Bucks did actually return to Pro Wrestling Guerrilla at the last but one. Not the last, the one before show. Where I think they actually won the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla Tag Team Championships. The Young Bucks are, in my eyes, the best tag team in the world at the moment. They're just so over where they go. Be it face, be it heel, they are just so over. They fantastic wrestling ability between the two of them, and they just have this affinity with the crowd. They can just walk into an arena and just own the crowd in whatever way they wish. And you know they're good when half the crowd are shouting for the bad guys. Fish now throwing Nick Jackson into the corner. Brings him out an exploder suplex into the turnbuckle. Pulls Nick Jackson away from the ropes. Gonna go for a pin. And as we said, Matt Jackson's up on the apron distracting the referee. That could have been a free count there. Matt Jackson already involved himself in this match. Can see why ACH is out here now, trying to make sure that Bobby Fish gets better treatment than ACH did. Drop kick to the side of the head by Nick Jackson. Boot to the stomach. Big clothesline. And an elbow drop by Nick Jackson as well. Brings Bobby Fish back to his feet. Fish with a quick roll up. 1. And again, Matt Jackson up on the apron. Nick had kicked out anyway. But Matt Jackson up on the apron. Referees distracted by Matt and Nick with the back elbows. Listen, the referee might have actually thrown Matt Jackson from ringside. Is he? I can't see Matt Jackson. The camera would have to come out a little bit as Bobby Fish with a couple of great backdrops followed up by a German. And I think Matt Jackson has been thrown from ringside. Referee obviously learnt his lesson from yesterday's match, where Nick Jackson used the distraction of Matt to come out on top of ACH. But more importantly than Matt Jackson getting thrown from ringside is that ACH is still out here. Will ACH have any bearing on this match at all now? Quick roll up by Bobby Fish. 1. Only a 1 count again. Great power slam by Bobby Fish. Straight into the pin again. 1, 2. Only a 2 count this time. Fish now throws Nick Jackson into the corner. He comes bouncing back. Fish went for a German. Nick Jackson gets around the back, went for a drop kick, and Bobby Fish avoids it. Of course, Bobby Fish and his tag team partner Kyle O'Reilly, part of Red Dragon, actually had a Global Force Wrestling tag team match against the Young Bucks at the Ring of Honor versus Global Force Weekender. And that's it. Bobby Fish with that huge discus clothesline defeats Nick Jackson. As I was talking about something completely random, there was a quick roll-up earlier in the match. Only got a 1 count. Another quick roll-up again. This time I'm getting a... This time I've got a 1 count again. Power slam into the pin. This time for the 2 count. And this is the victory pin here. After the big discus clothesline. ACH obviously very, very happy to see Bobby Fish go through. ACH managed to get his own back. Wasn't too much involved in the match. Referee did a very good job to get rid of Matt Jackson early. And allows Bobby Fish to do his job. And knock off Nick Jackson. ACH is out of this competition, but he's more than happy to see the other young buck Nick Jackson out too. Bobby Fish goes on to round 2 to face Rocky Romero. And here we go with our main event this evening. It is going to be our fatal 4-way Extreme Rules elimination match. AJ Styles, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Kota Ibushi, and Finn Balor. So you see Finn Balor and Kota Ibushi locking up in the front of the camera here. And Hiroshi Tanahashi has a hold of AJ Styles in the background. Tanahashi hits AJ Styles with that neck breaker as Finn Balor takes Kota Ibushi out with the suplex. Remember, Kota Ibushi is the current Intercontinental Champion here in Global Force. Won the belt back at Wrestle Kingdom a couple of months back. Held it ever since. Great corner clothesline by Finn Balor. AJ Styles and Finn Balor have notoriously been at each other's throats now for a couple of months as Tanahashi just takes Ibushi out with that chair. Now we will see AJ Styles and Finn Balor go at it one-on-one in night 7 of this Best of the Super Juniors competition. Tanahashi launches Ibushi into the corner. And Tanahashi going for another weapon. Already used the chair to good effect. And he pulls out a second chair and he went to hit Ibushi, but this time Ibushi manages to avoid it with that clothesline. But Tanahashi catches Ibushi this time. AJ Styles pinning Balor in the middle. Only for the 1 count. Tanahashi on the outside went for a power bomb, but Ibushi reverses it into that DDT. AJ Styles with a knee to the side of the head. Looks like AJ's under the ring looking for a weapon. He gets a kendo stick and just takes Tanahashi in the back with that kendo stick. Ibushi's under the ring looking for a weapon as well, and he's pulled out a trash can. And just takes Finn Balor out with a trash can. AJ Styles still just following Tanahashi around with that kendo stick. Finn Balor throwing Ibushi into the ring. Elbow to the face by Balor on Ibushi. Finn Balor comes back into the ring, joins Ibushi. Ibushi catches the leg of Balor, went for the dropkick. Balor knocks it away, and Tanahashi has a sledgehammer. AJ Styles went for the pin on Ibushi after Finn Balor had done the work. Ibushi kicks out. Balor with a backdrop on Tanahashi. Ibushi back to his feet now, maybe not as worn down as AJ Styles originally thought. There's AJ there with a tornado head scissors. Ibushi straight back to his feet though. Whips AJ into the corner. AJ reverses Ibushi over the top of AJ. Comes springing off the ropes, avoids the clothesline, comes back with that diving forearm. As Tanahashi has Finn Balor up and Balor reverses the suplex with a knee to the head. AJ with the enziguri. And now seamlessly Finn Balor and AJ Styles Swap opponents. Finn Balor going for the pin on Ibushi, only for the 1 count. Back elbow by Finn Balor. And hits that beautiful running, spinning kick. AJ Styles pinning Tanahashi, only for the 1 count. Finn Balor on Ibushi. And Kota Ibushi's been eliminated here by Finn Balor. AJ Styles with a Styles Clash. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Tanahashi kicks out. Finn Balor brings Tanahashi back to his feet, and AJ Styles just drop kicking Balor to the side of the head. Tanahashi caught with that tornado head scissors. I can see blood in the ring, but I can't see anyone who's bleeding. I think the blood is coming from Tanahashi, maybe. Or was it maybe left over from Ibushi? I'm not sure. Finn Balor catches AJ from behind. In that sort of reverse suplex, Tanahashi steals the pin from Finn Balor though. But AJ Styles is eliminated either way, and we're down to our final 2. Finn Balor and Hiroshi Tanahashi. Tanahashi dropping Balor flat in his face. Finn twisting the arm of Tanahashi. Now catch him with these punches. Going for the pin. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Remember, Tanahashi has taken the Styles Clash. Alright, excuse me if that is wrong. I only saw it at the corner of my eye. I'm assuming it was a Styles Clash. Finn Balor there with the underhook. Brainbuster. This should be all. 1, 2, 3. And Finn Balor is victorious here in this Fatal 4-Way Elimination match. And that's really got to push him up these rankings. I know he's a... Yes, it was a Styles Clash. Thank God for that. Styles Clash onto the grounded sledgehammer as well. Yeah, Finn Balor, I know he's got a match against AJ Styles at the Night 7 of this pay-per-view. However, with a victory here in this match, he's pinned the Intercontinental Champion and also 3 of the top stars here in Global Force Wrestling. Maybe he deserves a championship match in the future. And who will be the champion by the end of this week as well? Remember, we do have Michael Elgin versus Kazuchika Okada as our main event of Night 7 for the Global Force Wrestling Championship. Elgin won it a couple of weeks ago at the Ring of Honor Best in the World pay-per-view in the triple threat match against the champion Okada and AJ Styles. Well, anyway, guys, that has been the end here of Night 2 of our Global Force Wrestling's Best of the Super Juniors tournament. Tune in tomorrow for the final 5 matches of Round 1. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.